You know, sometimes you've just got to think, is it worth it now? So today, late last evening, obviously we had news coming out of Monday Night Raw. We also had interesting news that broke this morning as well. We're gonna dive into that. I'm gonna load up some information, what I know, and we're gonna hopefully discuss this together. First and foremost, the one of the major stories that broke out from Monday Night Raw last night is Naomi announced the worst kept secret in the world. Naomi announced on Stephanie McMahon's podcast with Big Jim is Naomi is 7 weeks pregnant. So big congratulations to Naomi and Big Jim, who shares the same name as me, by the way. He's known as Jonathan Fatu. So, yeah, I think it's Fatu. I don't know. I don't give a shit. But Big Jim Big Jim shares the same name as me. So, congratulations to Naomi and Big Jim. But anyway, we're not going to talk about AEW. And there's more dumb shit that is actually going on. Now, I'm trying to get some information if I can. So, we're going to talk about two things that broke yesterday. First one, we're going to talk about very nice, very evil. We're going to talk about Danhausen. So, last night, Fightful dropped dropped a link to give us contracting news on Danhausen. Now, Danhausen's contract was expected to expire on the 1st of July. But Tony Khan has proceeded to add injury time on. So now Danhausen is stuck in Khantanamo Bay now till 2026. I hope the sickos out there remember this well. Do you remember when WWE did not let Mustafa Ali go in 2022? I hope you remember. Do you remember when WWE did not accept Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee, God rest his soul, did not let Brody Lee go? And he added 6 months onto his contract, never to be seen again on television. I hope the sickos remember that. And now they're probably saying, "Oh, he deserves it, Tony. He deserves to sit on the bench with their fucking Doritos in their fucking beards, with their fucking bellies hanging out." So it can't be rules for one and one for another. How on earth can you not make merch out of Danhausen? Danhausen is one of the most over guys on your fucking roster. You are having people from New Japan every week, and you're having luchas every fucking week on your television, coming out to crickets. Danhausen comes out to the biggest pops. It's quite frankly unbelievable. I can guarantee the sickos will be like, "Oh, Tony would." I remember. Let me just load my PlayStation 5. Tony Khan said he will never be like Vince McMahon. Oh, didn't that backfire? Now, Tony Khan is Vince McMahon 2.0. And I've never wanted anyone to be as horrific of a person that Vince McMahon is. I'm just loading up my PlayStation, sorry, while I'm just recording this. Um, Danhausen is now under contract until 2026. It's quite frankly unbelievable. And the fact that Tony has lied to your faces and said, "Oh, I would never be like Vince." You're talking Bucari, you dumb filo da merda. You dumb filo da puta. You look at the people that Tony Khan is now going in Khantanamo Bay. Danhausen's now in there. He's doing it with Britt Baker. He's doing it with Wardlow. He's done it to Camille. He's doing it to Jamie Hayter. He's doing it to Gianna Parato. Done it to Wardlow. Each and every single one of them. If they got out of Guantanamo Bay, they would kill it, whether it's WWE or TNA. Even the fucking Indies. And I said on Max that the Indies is as red hot as it's ever been. Look at the work Matt Cardona's done. Look at the work Shotzi Blackheart's doing. Look at the work Priscilla Kelly's doing right now. Fantastic work. And by the way, I know within 3 years' time that WWE will re-sign Shotzi Blackheart. Calling it right now. Copy this. You can clip this if you want. WWE will re-sign Shotzi Blackheart in 3 years' time. As soon as she stays injury fucking free, that gal is on her way back. Anyway, this is not about the independent scene. How WWE? I guarantee you, if they'd assigned Danhausen, the merch that they will sell with his image, you could make Danhausen would probably sell out a piss load of shit within the first few weeks. I can guarantee you now. But you'll get the sickos say, where, he's overrated, Jonathan Beer. J Beer 434. That's great. That's your opinion. But your opinion is stupid. The last time we saw Danhausen on television, on AEW television, was World's End 2023. The last time Danhausen had a match on Ring of Honor was when he defeated Brandon Cutler. The last time we saw Danhausen pretty much on television was at Final Battle 2024 when he interrupted a match which involved I can't remember who it was. It was someone against Dio Madden. He interrupted that match. And we haven't seen Danhausen since. Do you know why? Who is he friends with again? Oh, yeah, CM Punk. He is a CM Punk guy. He is a Cody Rhodes guy. He's friends with Cody Rhodes. He's friends with CM Punk. And now you're punishing Danhausen for it. Ridiculous. And I guarantee you, there's more. There's more going to be benched by Tony Khan. And I do have a very top source that's told me that another one from AEW wants to leave. And I'm not saying who it is. Because I'm not getting him in trouble. Because he is a big source. And he has been correct on a lot of things. Let's get to the big news story. Chris Jericho. Now, on Instagram, Chris Jericho liked a photo which talked about a possible return for Chris Jericho in 2026. Now, I'm going to load up what Dave Meltzer has put. Now, where is Dave Meltzer's comments? Now, remember, kids, this is Uncle Dave. So whatever Dave Meltzer says, you take it with a grain of salt. So, this is what Dave Meltzer said on the Wrestling Observer Radio. Jericho is actually a really big story. You know, count of one. His contract was up at the end of the year or late in the year. So, it's going to be about Christmas or just after Christmas. but probably Tony will probably extend time on for Jericho when he was on tour with Fozzy. And there's certainly been lots and lots to talk about WWE. I know from a WWE standpoint that there is a lot of talk about Jericho. That's two. People speculate in the Royal Rumble. Nor will anyone or anything has been said so far, end quote. I can't wait for all the sickos out there, or the WWE tribalists. You know who you are. All the WWE fans that criticize Chris Jericho. Now, I'm no angel. I hate the learning tree gimmick. I have never once said I hate Chris Jericho as a fucking performer. I've seen Jericho since he's been in WWE when he came in '99. I started watching wrestling in 2000 or late '99. And my sister was in love with Chris Jericho. That's all I can tell you. Now, the sickos will probably say, "Oh, Chris Jericho, he's a backstabber. He's backstabbed Tony. No one can upset my Lord, praise and Savior, Tony Khan, man." Listen, now, my guy, JD from NY206, and what I'm about to read to you, he is absolutely right. And I'm not going to go through all of it yet. I'm going to go to the main part, what he has said. And this is absolutely fact. It's a long post, but I'm not going to take up all your time to read about this. Um, this is what he's put, and I quote: Chris Jericho leaving AEW rumors. His last 2 years on TV has been deplorable and embarrassing. Learning tree gimmick. Facts. Downright brought their television down and made the brand wildly uncool. As a performer, he came incredibly close to ruining some of his great legacy. He is not going out that way. I do think he ends up back in WWE, and I think we could see him as soon as the Royal Rumble in January as Per Meltzer support. He is the first face of AEW, their first ever world champion, an honorary founding father of the company, and the man who set the foundation for what you see in AEW today. I'm sure the mentally ill sickos, which he's not put sickos, I'll say sickos, because they are the most retarded fan base I've ever seen in my fucking life. And to be fair, the WWE drones, they're not that much fucking better. Will spin this as betrayal, but his contributions should be celebrated. I agree with him. Where's JD telling lies? Jericho was the first ever world champion. Jericho has been involved in some epic feuds. The great with MJF. Who remembers that show where MJF said Judas was not allowed to play, and you had fans? Oh wait, fans were singing Judas where Jericho was walking to the ring. Those were good times. Those were great times. That was where we had fans. Not when you only got 1,200 people now in a music concert. Now, anyway, I'm not going to go into a ratings discussion because we all know that at the moment Dynamite is getting beaten out by WWE's developmental show, and it's fucking embarrassing. Like I said, this is not a ratings video. I will be doing that soon, by the way. We're going to see how this week goes. Now, JD's put as well, and I quote, as far as Jericho in WWE, part-time, only when needed. He's right. Feuds with CM Punk, Cody, Sammy, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins could still be very good television. He could completely reinvent himself, have fun again, and feel cool again. Talk is Jericho will be part of the Fanatics podcast family. WWE will get more content for their networks based on his career. The Vault gets classic Jericho matches, and he gets a retirement run to end his career at WrestleMania. And by the way, we all know that Chris Jericho is a certain Hall of Famer. Even though he says he's not really bothered about the Hall of Fame, don't get on me, Chris. You want to be in the Hall of Fame. Don't fucking kid me, mate. And I love Chris Jericho, but the last 2 years, the television has been fucking deplorable. I saw Jericho when he did the Painmaker gimmick. I fucking love the Painmaker. I love the Ocho gimmick. I thought that was fucking great television. When he came in as the Alpha, when he had the match with Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. That was great television. If you've got about 35 minutes spare of your time, because most people I know are geeks and are fucking jobless, I probably suggest go and watch the Kenny Omega Chris Jericho match. As far as I go with Chris Jericho, I think this is a no-brainer. Jericho, I think, will be back in WWE. I would go with the Royal Rumble. And then, Bill, if CM Punk could come back to WWE, Chris Jericho definitely will. Yeah, there's a history with him and Triple H, you know. Punk had worse with Triple H. Punk was supposed to face Triple H at WrestleMania 30. And look at Punk and Triple H now. They're tight. They work together. They know what's right for business. Chris Jericho could come back and who remembers the Festival of Friendship? Some of the best freaking television during that time, that dark time of Monday Night Raw, because Raw was abysmal. SmackDown Live was killing it every week because of the SmackDown 6 when you had AJ Styles, you had Dean Ambrose at the time, John Moxley. I think Chris Jericho would fit well. You think that he could have matches like JD's pointed out. You think of the younger talent he could elevate into superstardom. Now, it failed with Action Andretti. Let's that ship well and truly sail with Action Andretti. He's never been fucking relevant ever since. You think the likes of Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu. You think of the matches that Jericho could have to get them to bigger and better heights. Would I be down for another world title run for Jericho? Hell no. I just want him to come in for 2 years, maybe 3 years, have one good run, and just set off to the sunset, tour with Fozzy, do what the fuck you want. The Jericho Cruise obviously will still be there, but I can see this happening. I think it's risky because obviously he's 54 years old now. His great days are miles behind him, but you think, like I've just said to you, them names I've just mentioned to you, Breaker, Mello, Dragonov, Jacob. You think of the mic battles with LA Knight, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton. You think of the endless possibilities about Jericho. Now, all I can hope, Triple H, Nick Khan, if you are bringing back Chris Jericho, there's only one theme song I want to hear at WrestleMania only. I want to hear Judas, and there's going to be 70 odd thousand people that will sing along to that theme. Now, I don't know whether AEW got it under wraps for them. I don't know, but we hear Break the Walls Down in Saudi Arabia. I don't know what day in January. I'll have to look that up. If we hear Break the Walls Down, that place is going to explode. So, I can see it happening. I think Jericho will be back unless Tony adds time on, in case because he's been touring. So we'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you think is going to happen. Do you want to see Chris Jericho back in WWE? Do you want to see Danhausen in NXT, TNA? Would what would you like? Now, if you agree with my opinion, good on you. If you disagree with me, fine. You got opinions. Opinions like assholes. We all fucking have one, unless you're a weirdo with no fucking weird ass. Now I don't know what I'm talking about asses now. That's a bit strange. But anyway, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, give it the middle finger, just like you give Vince McMahon. And also, I want to touch on one thing before we go. All that weekend, WWE is trying to counteract it with WrestlePalooza, a former ECW show, and they are planning John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. I don't know, man. All Out. Tony's got to go for it with All Out because if he wants to keep viewers, because if we're gonna get Lesnar and Cena, who is gonna want to miss out on seeing Brock Lesnar and John Cena for the final time? What if we get Punk and Rollins in Hell in a Cell? Are you gonna want to miss out on that? The answer's no. But anyway, that's my take. I'm gonna wait for more information on WrestlePalooza and also we got All Out. It is bank holiday weekend for ourselves this week, so this weekend is actually Forbidden Door, and also it is NXT Heatwave. I will be watching NXT. Because there's a match at Forbidden Door that's not happening, and even though I wish it was happening, that would have been Mercedes against Sari. If that happened, if that match was happening, I'd have been all over it. Forbidden Door, but sadly it's not happening because there's no sign of Sari. So and Sari is fucking amazing. Anyway, hit that like button, smash the hell out of that subscribe button. Free of charge, won't cost you a penny. And let me know your take on today's big news. Once again, congratulations to Trinity and Jimmy Uso, and I will see you guys later to let you know the reviews are coming. They are coming back. I am working on everything I can. I have a half day in my job on Friday, so I will be trying to catch up on as much wrestling as I can. I have not seen TNA Resurgence yet, even though I'm doing most fucking results. Um, Smack Trash, don't bother. I'm not. Collision is a waste of time. I will try and get Raw done, even though Raw sucked apparently. I haven't seen Raw yet. NXT, I'm enjoying NXT more than any show at this present minute. And I will try and get Dynamite done. But anyway, I'll try and get all the reviews I can. I will try my best. Please bear with me. Anyway, and I'll see you all when I see you. Adios. Love you all.